Welcome inside Rice-Eccles Stadium on the campus of the University of Utah for the 2018 6A football semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart from Deseret News Rewind with you. Welcome in. It is a beautiful day for football. It is the two best days of the year coming up. 6 football games in 2 days here at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and we'll have the call on every single one of them right here on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Our first game, a rematch from the final Region 4 game from the regular season. Is an absolute classic, a barn burner. We expect nothing different today. Bingham versus AF, the winner going into the 6A championship game.
Yeah, so interesting, Dustin. I mean, you look at these two teams and you look at really the course of their regular seasons. Had spectacular regular seasons. This matchup in the regular season was, boy, a barn burner. And, you know, if you're American Fork, you get an opportunity at a little bit of redemption. You know, they fell to that number 3 seed because of this loss and have worked their way back. But as we discussed in our pregame, it's been a long time since they've won. And, you know, there's a little bit of a wind in some of the upper portions of this bowl. I actually think that the field conditions are going to be huge today for Boone Abbott and this passing attack of American Fork. We'll see how good that arm is and able to cut down some of the conditions that we have here today.
It'll be American Fork football to start the game, and the wind down on the field looks just fine. We're up on level 4, and it is going pretty decently, but we expect that as well. So it'll be very interesting to watch what happens today. Biggest keys in the game for you, Dane, when you look at both these teams?
Yeah, to me it all starts with the Bingham secondary, Dusty. You know their front seven is going to be really good against the run. And even talking with Coach Beam said, you know, we know they're good up front, so we're not going to try to, you know, pound it. But they can run the football. And last week, Gregory, I thought, ran very well. Hughes ran very well. But today it's going to be about that passing attack. So I think Devin Downing and Chase Roberts have to have phenomenal games today. They have to win their matchups against this Bingham secondary. And then it's about protecting Boone Abbott. You know, he is mobile enough that he can create some first downs off of the run. But really, he's got to be able to sling the ball down the field. And so buy enough time against that pass rush from the Bingham Miners, and then let your receivers make plays in space. I think that's going to be the big thing to watch, the secondary of Bingham against the dynamic receivers of AF.
Well, it's very interesting to watch what's going to happen today. Can they protect Boone Abbott, Lolani Longi, Salika Ata and Tofuna? Those are big names to remember today, and then Samote Pepa.
Yeah.
They're going to try to negate Samote Pepa by getting the ball out of the hand of Boone Abbott, I dare say. So it'll be those guys come off the edge and coming through the A-gap that'll be big. When we take a look at the Bingham offense, however, this game will go as Peyton Jones goes.
There's a lot riding on his shoulders, Dustin. He's played a really good year this year for the Bingham Miners. He hasn't thrown a ton of interceptions, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. You'll live with that if you're the Bingham offense. But, you know, he has games where he's ran for over 100 yards. He's had games where he's thrown for, you know, 200 plus. The interceptions, I think, are going to be key. He's got to cut down no turnovers today for Bingham. You've got to take care of the football on the offensive side. And then you mentioned the backs, right? Andrew Wimmer as well as Avona Hall. Both of them can run between the tackles, can do it around the edge. They've really got 3 guys they can utilize on the ground game today, the Bingham Miners do. So that's going to be important. And the biggest thing is taking up time off the clock and picking up first downs to keep Boone Abbott on the sideline. To me, the ground game, I know Coach Lamborn says, we can pass the ball. We want to be able to throw the football. And I think that the balance today is going to be big, but really they need to keep that AF offense on the sideline by moving the sticks.
Yeah, the best defense against AF is giving no time and not allowing them on the field.
Right.
You limit the number of possessions. That is the biggest key, at least for me, for this Bingham team. And how big it is that American Fork will get the ball first. Folks, we're really close. We're all teed up, ready to go. Bingham versus AF, the 6A semis. Another one coming up right after this one. PG and Lone Peak winner moves on the next Friday here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. And we are underway in the 6A semis, taken at the 2-yard line. And only gets to the 15, and a blue wave there to make the tackle. And on the return for American Fork was number 86. And we got a number of them. That was McKay Nelson.
Boy, starts off great if you're Bingham, Dusty. I mean, you know, you trap AF inside their own red zone. It was a good deep kick, great pursuit by the special teams. And now we get a chance to see that matchup that we talked about, and in particular the Bingham secondary and how they're able to match up with some of these targets for Boone Abbott.
Well, out comes Boone Abbott and the Caveman offense. Roberts at the top of the screen, the All-American wide receiver now isolated. As Abbott rolls near side, throws in the flat, got his man, and that is Nelson on the reception. And Nelson across the 20 to the 21. It will be 2nd down and 4.
They run Nelson across the formation in motion. 1, it keys on the defense, but 2, able to push him into the flat area where he's got some space against that Bingham zone, and a nice job of picking up 5 yards on a first down, or on first down play.
I think so big to move Boone Abbott too. Do not want him to be sitting back there with this Bingham front. 2nd down and 4 for the Cavemen. Gonna go to the ground, and a short gain, gain of maybe a yard to the 22, and on the carry for the Cavemen was number 26, Tyler Webster, and it'll be 3rd down and 4.
It was actually Brock Hughes
3, sorry.
On the carry. And Dusty mentioned their game last week, that quarterfinal win over Weber. Hughes was big on the ground, had a great game, as did Gregory.
So the first 3rd down throw in the slot is Nelson on the reception. Nelson to the 26, and that is a 3rd down conversion. 1st and 10 Cavemen at the 26.
Boy, that time, I don't know if Bingham was late to get aligned or what, but it was definitely a read by Abbott, seeing Nelson wasn't covered, got the ball out quickly, and able to pick up 4, just enough for the 1st down.
We talked to Coach John Lamborn for the game, and he actually referenced that exact situation. He said, look, because that kid has a green light to do what he wants to do. He's like, if he wants to grab it and throw it, he can do it. And that is something that the Bingham coaching staff has been aware of, and Abbott took advantage there. Trips to the near side as Roberts at the top of the screen as Hughes goes into the slot. And we got a timeout taken by American Fort.
They were about to get a delay of game penalty. It looked like Coach Beam was able to get the timeout. The field actually came from the back judge, but he'll wave it off.
So timeout on the field, 10-17 remaining in the first quarter. You're watching the 6A semis on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Welcome back into Rice-Eccles Stadium. We're at a TV timeout down on the field. So welcome back in. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you from Deseret News Rewind. Excited to have them all day today. We got 3 football games. Got well, first of all, Bingham AF, we can't ask for any more. But also looking forward to our next games. Lone Peak versus PG. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
When you look at the 3 teams, and I was talking with Coach, we were talking to Coach Beam before, and I was like, hey, what a statement for Utah County football.
Yeah.
That you've got Bingham, Lone Peak, AF, PG, and then Orem in the 4A side that we'll see tomorrow, but really representing well. But not only that, you have those boundaries are right by each other. All 3 teams representing themselves here in the semifinals. Yeah,
it's phenomenal, Dusty. And the region that we thought was really the best region all year long has represented that in the playoffs. And I mean, you know, they've all been well tested. I mean, you can go PG, that first round victory over East. They've had to go up against some real juggernaut programs, and they've found ways to win them all.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. At the top of the screen is Tanner Holden. As Peyton Wilson now on the slot, looking to throw. Boone Abbott rolls, fires into the flat. It was deflected, but then caught. And on the reception was number 15, Devin Downing. And that is a 1st down for the Cavemen at the 37-yard line. As Peyton Wilson
really
now on the slot,
here.
looking to throw.
Bingham actually lines
Boone
up
Abbott
Peppa
rolls,
at that
fires into the flat.
It
was deflected, but then caught.
And
on the reception was number 15.
Able to find that hole in the zone for his first reception today.
Salika Ata was the defender. It looked like he got his hand on the ball there. So 1st and 10, trips to the top of the screen. That is Roberts in motion. Abbott Fires all the way to the far side of the field. The catch is made at the 39-yard line. See, they mark him to the 40, and they do. And on the receptions, number 14, Tanner Holden. And it'll be 2nd down and 7.
It's a good tackle made on the outside there by Marquise Hamilton. He's going to have a big game today. That Bingham secondary, Dusty, we mentioned they're going to be tested. They've got some guys that have been playing in these roles for a while, but boy, they're going to have to be sharp on those outside matchups.
Down a couple of corners are the Bingham Miners, most notably Greenfield, as they bring out Wilson out of the motion him out here, makes the catch. And how about coming up and making the quick stick there for Bingham was number 7, Aaron Erickson, coming up and getting the stop.
I think it was, oh, it was 7. Thank you. I was thinking it was 17. I was like, well, Parikh plays offense. Dusty, right on that. And you mentioned you got to make tackles in space. Fantastic job of coming up. Had help behind him, but you just can't give up free yards to AF.
3rd down and 7. They picked up a 3rd down earlier. Put Roberts in motion. Abbott. Pressure comes off the edge. Fires deep, and that is incomplete. Intended for Peyton Wilson. And the Bingham defense comes up with a stop. And the punting unit will come on for the Cavemen.
First incompletion of the day for Boone Abbott comes on a 3rd down. And it was one of those linebackers, Dusty, Lolani Longy, able to track with the receiver and makes a great play in the air to deflect that away and bring up the 4th down here.
Need to credit David Latu. Got off the edge early, kind of forced Abbott to the near side. As the punt is a nice spiraling kick that takes a minor roll and reaches the end zone. So bring it out to the 20-yard line, where we get our first chance to look at this Bingham offense led by Peyton Jones.
Mentioned the year that Peyton Jones has had in our pregame. And 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, over 50% completion. Dusty, when he throws for over 50%, I think they're 6-0 on the year. So, again, I don't expect them to go out and put the ball in the air 40 times, but it's important for him to be able to find open targets, complete some passes, keep those sticks moving for Bingham here to succeed in this semifinal.
Peyton Jones is used to have the ball in his hand in the championship game. We saw him just back in May, the starting pitcher in the state championship for Coach Joey Sato. As on 1st down, they go run, and it looked like at the end of that ball nearly came out. It is a short gain for Bingham's number 28. That is Ivana Hall.
Yeah, Hall has done a nice job. He's seen an increase in carries with the injury to Braden Whistler this year. And he's done a nice job. He's got some speed to his game, so he can certainly turn on the Jets. But a nice play starting on the interior run there for Bingham on a 1st down.
The 2 receivers at the top of the screen, one near side. Jones going to throw, fires to the outside. The catch is made for the 1st down, spinning his way to the 1st down. I believe on the reception, yes, it was number 12, and that is Enrique Oliva.
This is a nice job on the route. Just a little hitch, turn back, the ball right there, and able to pick up the 1st on a gain of 9.
Tanner Holden there on the stop. Pardon me, that is Ryan Evans. So 1st and 10 Miners at the 31-yard line. Back to the ground. Here's Ivana Hall. Got a lot of room. Hall across midfield, still going inside the 40-yard line. Mark him down at the 39. A big gain for Ivana Hall. 1st and 10 Miners inside of AF territory.
Mentioned he's got some nice speed, Dusty, and this one's really blocked well up front. Hat on hat for Bingham and all sorts of space for Ivana Hall, able to take this across the 50. And the first big play for this Bingham offense is, well, it's a good one.
Love the formation. They spread out this American Fork defense. He only had to get through one wave as they go quarterback sneak. Folks, that's not just a read. That is an actual, Bingham does that a lot. Down to the 24-yard line, or 34-yard line. Check that. As a nice gain of 5 yards on 1st down.
And again, you see Bingham come out 3 receivers. So trying to spread out that AF defense a little bit and just keep it with Peyton Jones. You mentioned that's a called play. They've done that for years here. Those quarterback sneaks right up the middle. And I don't even want to call them sneaks. They're more a QB dive.
Yeah, absolutely. Wimmer now checks into the backfield. And it'll be a give to Wimmer off the right side. He's hitting the backfield, able to slip one tackle. Gets a gain to the 32-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Miners.
That's really one of the things that we didn't talk about is how does this AF front do against the Bingham run? And, you know, when you think about this Bingham offensive line, Dusty, they're not, you know, loaded with 4- and 5-star recruits, but they do have great talent up front. Including Samote Pepa, that right guard. Expect them to try to run behind him a lot today.
Jones the throw, fires near side, has his man, has the 1st down, big hit to the 25-yard line. On the reception is Avi Parikh, and it is a 1st down for the Miners.
Boy, a big conversion here for the Bingham Miners, and once again, it's man coverage and ball out quickly. Parikh able to make the grab. Tell you what, Peyton Jones, just 2 throws, Dusty, but both of them were right on point on key downs.
Wimmer in the backfield in the I formation. Pitch out to Wimmer. Looking for the edge. Gets a big block, and I think we're going to have a hold. This is going to be coming back on Bingham. It'd be 1st down and 20 as he was able to get to the edge there, but we're going to have a hold. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay, but that is a big stop there for American Fork to get this whistle, or get the flag rather.
Yeah, one of those where, boy, leading to their own undoing. And obviously it's just the first play, or on a 1st down play, but man, when you're Bingham, we mentioned, I mean, I know that Hall had the 31-yard carry a little earlier on this drive, but not a team that routinely picks up 20, 30-yard chunks. So playing behind the sticks here a little bit.
Go to Ivana Hall, and Hall gets 5 yards on 1st and 20, so it'll be 2nd down and 15 as he gets down to the 30-yard line. The penalty was called on Wyatt Marks. But now 2nd down and 15 for Bingham. On the drive that Ivana Hall really sparked, had that big, you mentioned, 31-yard run to set up the Miners. Picked up a 3rd down and 3 to extend the drive before that penalty. So Marks and Hall in the backfield. Parikh, the near side receiver. On the ground with Hall. Ivana gets to the 30, down to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for the Miners.
Another look here, and see Hall, nice sidestep right in that gap, but a couple of cavemen defenders there, including Brock Hughes. One of the other players that we haven't talked a lot about, but watch for number 28 today, Bodie Schoonover, outside linebacker, just a junior, great size, 6'4", athletic, has a pick 6, or had a pick 6 against Harriman today. He'll be, he's in coverage right now.
Shotgun formation for the Miners, 3rd down 11. Jones fires, and it's intercepted. The first big play of the day goes to American Fork, and on the interception is Connor Gibb. How about that one, Dane? Undercut the out route. And another look at it.
Another look, and we'll give you something else here in just a bit. Dusty, this has been the same route that Bingham has ran every pass play that they've had, and that time it's a fantastic job by Gibb to sit on it, plan on it, and pick it off. But I'll tell you what, if Jones comes off of that, he actually had Wimmer wide open down the slot as Schoonover let him go right up the seam. Would have been a huge 1st down and probably even a touchdown.
So the Cavemen end the Bingham drive with the interception. Now comes Boone Abbott in the offense. They get a big hole on 1st down out to the 25-yard line. A gain of 6 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 4. And on the carry for the Cavemen is Brock Hughes.
Boy, look at that blocking up front. Fantastic job. And Bingham on that first series defensively, Dusty, only lining up 3. So if you're AF, you know you have some opportunities to create some seams in that in the defensive line, and able to do so there for a nice pickup of 6.
2nd down and short. Abbott pulls, fires wide of Roberts, the first target of the day for Chase Roberts. And it's 3rd down and 4.
Boy, that time right there with them was Hamilton, the 6'1" senior DB. We've called his name out already. Going to be tough for Bingham to match the size and speed of Roberts here today. They've done a nice job here in just the first quarter.
3rd down and short. Abbott rolls near side. He has nobody open downfield. Now finally fires along the sideline, and that should have been intercepted by Ivana Hall. And the Bingham defense does what they do. They come up with a big stop, another look.
Boy, fortunate here. Abbott, again, one of the things Coach Lamborn talked about was they got to keep him in the pocket. This time Abbott able to escape. And you see this one, he's just trying to force it. Throw this ball away through the fingertips, and Hall should have had that one. Boy, it would have been a big play for Bingham to get it right back on the AF side.
Intended for McCain Nelson, and out comes the punting unit. Had a nice punt on the last drive. And a flag, so we got a legal formation here. Most likely, if it's offside on Bingham, it would have been a dead ball. As the return by Parikh is stopped at the 40-yard line, but we'll sort out the flag. My guess is it was a legal formation.
Dusty, that last drive for AF, Boone Abbott goes 0 for 2, but after starting 5 of 5, he's now, the last 3 have been incomplete. And, obviously I'm not going to, throw the kid under the bus. He's playing the best defense in the state, number 1, and number 2, it's just 3 throws. But a nice response by Bingham, and you see that secondary. We mentioned how big that matchup would be in this ball game today. Doing a much better job putting pressure on some of these receivers and, contesting a lot of these throws from one of the best quarterbacks in the state.
So legal formation will take it from the end of play, so move the Miners to the 45-yard line. Just a 55-yard field in front of Peyton Jones and the Miner offense. As we got a timeout on the field, and we'll take it with them. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com with a commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Welcome back to Rice-Eccles Stadium. It'll be 1st and 10 Miners after the punt. So out comes Peyton Jones in the offense. Wimmer in at the deep back of the I formation. The give is to Wimmer off the right side as he gets to the 48-yard line before he's finally corralled down. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Another look at this play, and a couple times, Dusty, where those Bingham backs have done a nice job of finding the hole, even though it wasn't where the play's necessarily drawn up, still able to find some gap in the AF front, and Wimmer able to pick up a solid 4.
Ivana Hall now the lead back there for Wimmers. It is Hall on the fullback give, and Hall a gain of 7 on 2nd down and 6. It is 1st and 10 Miners inside the American Fork 45.
What a start today for Ivana Hall, Dusty. I mean, we're just, 2:26 left here in the first quarter, and Hall already at 49 yards on 5 touches. Obviously, that big 30-plus yarder helped, but even without that, averaging a good 5 yards a carry. These Bingham backs have been up to the task here in the early going.
That front's getting a nice push. 1st and 10. Give the Wimmer. Got a hole off the right side. Wimmer gets inside the 30-yard line. They'll actually mark him at the 30. Nice run there from Wimmer. 1st and 10 Miners.
Boy, and now you add Andrew Wimmer into the equation, and good luck. I mean, this is a fantastic run by Wimmer, and good tackling. He breaks that one. He's gone.
I might have waited up there for Parikh. Might have gotten the block and set him free.
Yep.
1st and 10 at the 30. And it'll be Jones on the quarterback dive. Well, let's go ahead and name it that. So it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Nice recognition there by AF, able to defend that easily.
Last drive for the Miners got inside the 25-yard line, and it was an interception that ended that drive. And they're going to need another big play. It was Gibb that had the interception. The outside linebacker at the top of the screen. Power near side with Wimmer. And Wimmer gets down to the 26-yard line. Gain of 2. Brain's not working.
Well, it's a little cold. We got brain freeze, but not the one you're thinking of. I thought Wimmer maybe had an opportunity to cut back that time. There was a hole almost to the right side of him, but still a short pickup there to set up a 3rd down and 5, maybe 6 here.
Possibly 2-down territory here for the Miners. 3rd down and 6. And it'll be Wimmer keeping it. Jones keeping it. And Jones stacked up at around the 24-yard line.
Go ahead.
Be 4th down and 4.
I was going to say, I think that's maybe a play call you make if you're thinking 2 downs. You keep it with Wimmer, try to set up something shorter. Able to pick up 3 yards. They've got to get to the 20 to move the sticks here.
Got a 5-second differential on the game clock and the play clock. This will be most likely the final play of the first quarter. As Wimmer will be just off the line of scrimmage at the top of the screen. Bring a man in motion, and it's going to be fake the quarterback dive, throw over the middle, and it's incomplete. Turnover on downs for the Miners.
He had it. Oh, he had it. Great play call, and it was ran beautifully. Parikh able to get behind the defense. Watch him up top. You see just a little fake here by Jones. Step back. Look at that. He is beat. And Peyton Jones just underthrew it. You lob that one, and Parikh's in the end zone, and the Miners have the lead.
We're talking to Coach Lamborn down in the end zone before the game. What was the route they threw for 15 minutes? It was that exact route. Jones took that little, it means the Tim Tebow jump pass from under center.
And you set that up on that QB dive on 3rd down, right? I mean, that's the right play call. It just wasn't executed.
Final play of the first quarter, 2 seconds to go. Wilson motions into the backfield for Boone Abbott. Abbott pulls, fires, too tall and incomplete. Luckily, it was not intercepted if you are a AF fan, but the end of the first quarter, it is 0-0 in the 6A semifinals. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by Utah Army National Guard.
And welcome back into the 6A semifinals. American Fork and Bingham. No score after the first quarter. This one thrown out to Chase Roberts. Chase makes a man miss up across the 30. A pickup of 9 for American Fork here to start the second quarter. And the first reception of the day for Chase Roberts. This will set up 3rd down and 1. Pistol formation. Peyton Wilson in the back here for American Fork. And Wilson able to make a man miss and spin ahead. He'll pick up 2 yards in the first down for the Cavemen. Boy, great run this time. You'll see good penetration by Bingham. Look at that. It might have been David Latu who was in the backfield, and somehow Peyton Wilson able to evade the tackler to pick it up. So a first down for American Fork. Abbott surveying, flush out of the pocket, stepping up. This one caught by Roberts. What a grab from Chase. And then they're going to say incomplete. He didn't bring it down. Boy, a great job of extending that time by Chase Roberts, but just couldn't complete it. And already you're starting to see American Fork able to buy Boone Abbott some extra time. Had a chance talking with the coaches before the game, and Coach Lamborn talking about how important it was to keep him contained, because his escapability with the targets they have, the talent on the outside, these receivers will find the space to get open if they have the time to do so. On 2nd down. Kept by Abbott. Abbott up the middle and tripped up at about the 43-yard line, a gain of 9 for Boone. And for those AF fans who maybe thought that first down play was controversial, they replayed it up here, and it was dropped by Roberts. You see the pull there from Abbott, a great run and a nice job just tripping him up that time by Junior Tafuna.
So Bingham got lucky, had that Roberts drop, a nice run there from Boone Abbott. 3rd down and short, going to run it. I don't think they got there, Dane. I think he's short. And Coach Beam, I mean, this is one of those spots on the field. Momentum is riding with Bingham. I know AF has been able to get 2 turnovers, and here we go, quick. I love the decision.
Well, they just stopped you on 3rd and 1. Going to try it here on 4th.
4th and inches, go again and don't get it. They go straight dive on that one. I don't know if that was a read or not. Not even close. Salika Ata in there with that defense, and the Miners get off the field. Here's another look at it.
I like the quick decision, but I don't like the decision, Dusty. You just got stopped on 3rd and 1, and how about the penetration? You saw it right there by David Latu pushing that line back. There's just nowhere to go.
Oh, and if it was a read, he read it correctly, because if he pulls, Longy's got him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was well done by that front from Bingham blowing it up. Samote Pepa is a name that I don't know. We'll say a ton of days we talked about in our pregame show. Get the ball out of the hands of Boone Abbott. So in those times they do run it, it's going to be up to Pepa in that front. So after the turnover on downs, back-to-back turnover on downs, you look at the new formation as Jones is going to run to the far side. Peyton Jones spins off of 1 tackle. And Jones inside the 40-yard line near the 35. Mark him down at the 36. It'll be 2nd down and medium for the Miners.
Boy, you mentioned new formation. You're right, Dusty. They line up in I, and then Peyton Jones recalls things a little bit. And this time, a couple of blockers out in front, including Wyatt Marks, and a fantastic job. Jones able to just come off a couple of would-be tacklers and have a nice gain on 1st down.
Wimmer in the slot near side as he's inside of Jake Cragen. And they'll go on the ground, Ivana Hall. Nice job by that American Fork front. You got to feel frustrated if you're AF. They blew up the front. Hall able to bounce off a couple of linemen and nearly got the 1st down. It'll be a yard short, 3rd down and 1.
You can feel frustrated at that, but you should feel fortunate too, because if he bounces the other side, he's gone, Dusty. There's a lot of room to the top of the screen.
I'll say this. There's been about 4 runs.
Right.
that if it's Braden Whistler, and I know I'm a little skewed here,
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
So coming out on 3rd down and 1. Twins at the top of the screen, hand off to Wimmer. He's got the first down inside the 30-yard line. Goes Wimmer. It'll be 1st and 10 Miners at the AF 29.
Wherever you're at, clap if you heard this before. Bingham is winning the battle up front. Look at that great blocking, and how about going to try to get a name for you on this one, because it was Brayson Harward, the tight end, who caught the game-winning touchdown, Dusty, against AF. He had the lead block on that one, and if you saw, he pushed that linebacker completely into the backfield. Great blocking up front by Bingham.
And you give some love to John Henry as well, number 52, the center. He was just mowing people, or pardon me, the guard, mowing people over as they pitch out to Ivana Hall, and Hall takes the initial contact, is still able to get a couple of yards. And on the stop for American Fork was number 34, Preston Viewig.
Yeah, nice job that time by Viewig, because I'm not sure if it was a missed block or if he just had great speed. Watch the top of your screen, see him just go right around. And Hall is just nowhere to go once that linebacker able to get there.
And I should know better. I believe it's Viewig. You know, Viewig, probably maybe watching Suzanne Viewig. But 2nd down and 10, as it could have been a loss of 2 yards. So into the shotgun they go, and how about this? Another new formation for the Miners. Trips to the bottom of the screen. Imagine they're coming near side. Going to step this way, fire over the middle. Got a man wide open. Touchdown, Bingham Miners. Enrique Oliva and the Miners get on the board. Or pardon me, as 82, not 12.
Josh Wolf.
So Josh Wolf from Jones, and again, it's that quarterback run action, Dane.
They sold it. Look, everyone's thinking screen, and instead Jones able to step back right down the middle of the field, and they disguised Wolf, top of the screen. The bunch was to the bottom, and just no one behind for American Fork to contest a ball over the top.
Missed on one earlier, didn't miss on that one. 7:21 to go in the half, and it's Bingham 7, American Fork 0. You're watching the 6A semifinals on Live.KSL and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. $7:21 to go in the first half. Bingham finally gets on the board after 2 drives inside of the American Fork red zone to turn on to turnovers. Finally strike big as Josh Wolf hauled in the touchdown catch, and now the Miners on the board, 7-0. And AF, that offense has got to wake up as the Bingham defense has had their number, as this kick will go in the end zone. Luckily for AF, that ball went in the end zone. Easton Green couldn't pull that in cleanly. So out back comes Boone Abbott and the offense. Dan, it looked like they had something. They turned the ball on downs, and they've got to get things going here.
Yeah, they do, and it's really tough, Dusty, because, I mean, if you're AF, you have 3rd and 1, you decide to run it. I don't mind that. 4th and 1, you decide to run it again because you're thinking we just need that 1 yard. And for those thinking, well, why don't you throw it? Well, Boone Abbott is 1 for his last 5. And so right now, I mean, you mentioned it, they got to get the offense going. Things seem just out of sync here for American Fork as of late. You take away that Boone Abbott run, they haven't been able to move the ball much the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, not only that, you had the drop as well from Roberts, just uncharacteristic. Goes RPO near side, and it's Roberts, his first catch of the day, 3rd target, or pardon me, 2nd catch. As gets a gain of 6 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, he had a 9-yard completion on that. Right. I think 2 drives ago, maybe 1, I don't know. Either way, both of them very similar. Some short passes to Chase Roberts. Try to get him in the feel and rhythm of this ball game.
Stay in the pistol formation for Abbott. 2 receivers at the top of the screen. Again, going to look for Roberts. Faded up the sideline. Nice adjustment. Beautiful ball. Even just as good of a catch to the 46-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Cavemen.
Boy, so you tried Chase Roberts a couple times on short routes, and then you go over the top, and this is man coverage, bottom of the screen. Good positioning, but again, how do you deal with 6'4" on the outside? Bingham doesn't have a kid to do it right now. If I'm AF, I'm looking the direction of 27.
Yeah, if they're not bracketing, you got to go after it. They're giving him cushion on this one. Abbott up the seam. He threw that ball the only place it could be thrown on the money as well. Just could not be hauled in by Dallin Johnson. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Boy, and this is a testing throw because Tafuna, I think, is in pretty good positioning here. You see not a lot of room to work that time for Abbott. It was a great ball in terms of accuracy, but
that's a collegiate throw, man. That's up the seam, outside shoulder.
Yep.
And just not able to hook up on the completion.
Boone has started picking up a couple of offers here as of late.
One of the top passers in the country, folks. Not just in the state, in the country. Spread them out and run it. And to midfield, a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7 as Miner lost his helmet. I believe that was Junior Tafuna, so Tafuna has to come off the field after losing his helmet on this one.
Nice carry there, and I actually don't have an 80 on my roster, so I'm not sure who that is for American Fork. But you go back to that point about Boone Abbott, Dusty. If he plays last year as a junior, this kid has a dozen FBS offers right now.
And why didn't he play? Because he's behind a quarterback that's going to go to Weber State.
Right.
Abbott has to get some time, and he has it. Gets his man. 1st down and more. Coming near side, needing a block. To the 15, inside the 10-yard line. What a catch and run from Devin Downing, the unsung hero of this American Fork offense.
Dusty, he has been unsung all year. Last year in the quarterfinal, I think he had 150 yards receiving. He was the guy that stepped up, and a big gain right there.
If AF hurrying snaps, they don't have anybody at the top of the screen. Now Miners finally get lined up. Fire to Roberts. Back shoulder to the 4-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. But Downing had the big game last week against Weber, as you mentioned. But here's another look at what Boone Abbott did to keep this play alive in the run after catch.
Yeah, you see a little delayed blitz there from the linebacker coming. And that's a throw on the run against zone coverage. And this is all Downing after the reception, just outrunning guys.
And not only that, the reception is Downing reading the defense and sitting down in the pocket. Yeah. 4 receivers at the top of the screen, a little oopty-oop look. Gonna throw. Look at Boone Abbott. He's coming near side. He's got Atta, steps inside of him, makes another move, and Boone Abbott in the end zone. Touchdown, American Fork.
Wow. I mean, holy cow, Dusty. You find me a quarterback in this state that can do that. I mean, he's got pressure coming right up at him. Look at this. Pressure right. Going to step back at him. It looks like N'Keal Harry. And then all of a sudden, Dusty, looks like Bingham's got him. No, I'm going to turn this inside twice. Touchdown, Boone Abbott. The longest 4-yard touchdown run you'll see. Folks, that's a quarterback.
Yeah. Hashtag DNRT5.
Right? Hashtag offer him. I mean, holy cow.
Hashtag looked like Cooper Legas last year in the semifinals, going the same end zone as this one is up and good. Game on. 4:57 left in the half. We are tied at 7. You're watching the 6A semifinals on Live.KSL and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by Utah Army National Guard. Welcome back in a raucous Rice-Eccles Stadium. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. 6A semifinals tied at 7. 4:57 to go in the half. Boone Abbott, Dane, we're still just at, there's those plays that happen. It's like those are ones we'll be talking about for a while. That is one of them. He had 2 free rushers, and Boone finds the end zone.
Boy, I mean, just unreal, Dusty. And again, I mean, I watched some Arizona State football. I mean, that play, there's a play where N'Keal Harry, I think it's week 1 of the year, has 5 defenders around him, and he's able to reverse the field and take it to the end zone. And that had some shade of that very same play in, but that time by a quarterback.
And a little pooch kick here. Fair caught by Bingham at the 34-yard line. Actually, going to give it 32. Might have misspotted there. So probably one of the longest fields of the day for the Miners. They've enjoyed terrific field position, Dane. Only 7 points off of 3 possessions inside the 25-yard line of American Fork.
Yeah, they've moved the ball really well, Dusty. The ground game has been impressive. We've got, just under 5 minutes left here in the first half, but we've got 77 yards rushing, 45 through the air. I'll tell you this, and this is kind of off target. Why don't more teams do that pooch? I'll tell you, I love that. You get an up man who isn't a good ball handler, and you might find yourself in good position.
On first down to give to Ivana Hall, and Hall just continues to run strong to the 37-yard line. He is a breakoff of Ka'ili from a year ago on that state championship team. It was he and Whistler that teamed up in the backfield as Hall just continues to break tackles.
Yeah, that time, I mean, there's several cavemen who have a shot at Ivana Hall, and he's able to escape, pass through, around. Nice job that time by Hall.
Got to get to the 42-yard line for a first down. Second down and 6. Going to give to Wimmer. Bounces outside, and Wimmer has the first down and more. Wimmer across midfield to the 42-yard line. And the second big run of the day for this offense, and the first for Andrew Wimmer.
That puts the team over 100 yards rushing, Dusty. And it's been the Wimmer and Hall show. How about this one? Nice patience that time. The vision able to get around the edge after everything on the interior was sealed up. And AF able to track him down. Tanner Holden did. But, boy, Dusty, they've had a couple plays where they could have gone the distance. Right now, Bingham blocking has been really sharp today in the semi.
Just collapsing that defensive front as a give to Hall on first down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Cavemen. For the Miners.
Not much room this time. Again, an interior run, and like they did on the previous play. Good job by AF sealing that up.
It's been a first half dominated by the Bingham offense as far as time of possession goes. 3.5 minutes to go in the half.
Right.
Been running crisply. And a give to Wimmer. And Andrew, a nice run, considerably shorter than the first run on this drive, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Miners.
Dusty, we talk about American Fork and have all year long, but whenever we talk about the offense, well, one of the things that really stood out to me last week in that win over Weber, in the second half, the Warriors came out, really tried to run the ball. They had a 7-point lead. They thought we can take some time off the clock, keep the offense on the side. AF didn't let them do it. They shut it down, and I know that Bingham's over 100 yards today, but really, except for 2 or 3 runs that have been broken, they've done a nice job on some of the running play by Bingham.
3rd down and 5. Gonna throw Jones to the outside. Got his man. First down Miners at the 30-yard line. And on the reception for Bingham is number 8, Jake Cragen.
Very similar route to what we saw them do in that first half, Dusty. Just a little comeback. Cragen running 3 yards past the sticks and turn around. It's also the route that AF was able to pick off from Jones. So, I understand it's working. They like that. Got to be careful that you don't go to the well too many times here.
First and 10 at the 31. I formation. It is Wimmer, the deep back. Play action. Jones over the middle. Got his man. Touchdown, Bingham. Avi Parikh. And the second touchdown pass of the half for Peyton Jones.
All right. Don't go to the well too many times. Fine. We'll run right up the seam again. How about this, Dusty? The second time where there's no one down the middle of the field. Parikh lined up in the slot there. And, boy, I think that linebacker bites up on the play action. There's no one that can catch up to Parikh down the middle. And just like that, someone calling? We've got a lot of answering going on here back and forth between the Cavemen and the Miners.
That's one of those ones. It looked like run, it smelled like run, but it was a pass.
Yep.
And it was a nice setup by Parikh, getting his hands up. He sold the run as well on that route as the extra point is good. 2:11 left in the half. Miners lead American Fort 14-7. You're watching the 6A semifinals. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. A quiet first quarter. The second quarter, we got 21 points in it. 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the half. Miners score on the second touchdown pass from Peyton Jones. And we talked about Jones. This kid has got ice water run through those veins. What he did in the state championship catching last year was spectacular. Very, very good. The kick inside the 5-yard line. And Roberts out to the 20. And that is where Boone Abbott and the offense will take over. 2:04 left in the half, looking to answer the touchdown from Bingham.
Dusty, we talk about, AF and obviously that passing attack. Talk about their defense against the Bingham run. How about the Bingham defense against the AF run? I mean, Boone Abbott has 13 yards on the ground. All others combined have 12 for AF, only 25 yards rushing. And look, this isn't a team that runs for 200 a game. I get that. But you look at success in football, and it always comes back to running the football, and they haven't had a lot of success doing that here in the first half.
As Hughes in motion on first down. Abbott pump fake, now looks, fires as his man, and that is through the hands as Abbott is taking on free rushers. Devin Downing, the sure-handed receiver, just unable to squeeze that one as Abbott's making things happen.
Yeah, and Lonnie, you're really put in a tough situation here. You see Boone Abbott able to get around, and as Boone Abbott comes up, see Lonnie leave his man, and then, I mean, fortunate, he has to do it to shut down the run from Abbott, but that time just right through Downing's hands, who's usually quite reliable.
How about Peppa in the stand-up rush end position? Fire out to Roberts. Roberts makes the grab and is quickly dropped on the stop for the Bingham Miners, number 13, Mahanrai McDougall. And it is 3rd down and 6.
Dusty, he's been lined up that way for this entire first half, and it really kind of perplexed me. But, AF hasn't been able to find a way to take advantage of that. And nice job coming up making that tackle again by Marquise Hamilton for Bingham.
Trips to the top of the screen, 2 receivers near side. A big 3rd down this ball game. Inside of a minute and a half we go. Abbott on the quarterback draw, going to run. Abbott slides down to the 35-yard line wisely. They actually mark him at the 34, but it'll be 1st and 10 Cavemen, minute 18 to go.
And I think this is an opportunity that AF should really take advantage of more in the second half. Bingham has kept bringing 3. That's been what they've done this entire first half. Everyone dropping in coverage. Look at that. All the linebackers flow backward. If I'm Abbott, hey, look, I'll take 5, 6, 7 yards a time and make you stop me on the ground.
And again, Steps up in the pocket, fires to the outside. A catch is made. I believe that was Downing. He backpedaled toward the first down, and they're going to give it to him. 1st and 10 on the reception, and move the chains once more for the Cavemen.
Nice throw here from Roberts, but once again, everyone drops. He's got 10 yards of real estate in front of him as well. I don't blame him for taking that throw. Well, there are opportunities for him to keep running the ball.
It was interesting. Coach Lamborn talked about it. He said, hey, we got to keep him in the pocket. He's like, what happens is you give running lanes up the middle. He's like, and we'll be happy to do that. And we'll see what they continue to do here for AF as Abbott moves around the pocket. Now pressure comes, rolls to his right, fires, nearly intercepted as Lolani Longi nearly hauled that one in, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Fortunate that it's 2nd and 10.
Very fortunate. This time, Atta, linebacker, lined up right about the 49. He's straight spying here. Look at him. Eyes are in the backfield, keeping an eye on Abbott. Now he's going to come up and really forces this throw as Abbott was pushed into some of that other pass rush from Bingham, and Longi nearly able to jump on it.
Rushing 3 and plastering to the receivers.
Yep.
59 seconds to go in the half. Abbott steps up again, and down he goes. They got him for the first time, and AF going to use their first time, or probably second time out of the half. It'll be 3rd and 14 when we come back. You're watching the 6A semifinal commentary brought to you by Utah Army National Guard. Welcome back into Rice-Eccles Stadium. 52 seconds left in the half, and what a big defensive play from Bingham getting his sack.
Yeah, we mentioned Peppa has been on the outside. Peppa's not even in on that play, but this time it's Penasoni Havili, the nose guard, who comes right through Dusty. Not very well blocked up the middle, and no time for Boone Abbott on that play.
Got to give it to Holden Tennant. But how about this? Russian 3, and AF is doubling, which means you're taking 5 guys to block 3, but really becomes 4 to block 3 when you're doubling on that. So 3rd down and 14 for the Cavemen. Abbott, pressure comes and gets away from Longi, fires complete, and Hughes goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Call it the 49. Let's see if Coach Beam goes again. 45 seconds left in the half.
Nice play. Again, pressure on Abbott, and able to sidestep it, buying time, and able to pick up 10 yards. Hey, American Fork will take it. Sets up a 4th and short.
The 4th down and 4 for the Cavemen. Empty set once again from Abbott. Trips to the near side. There's Roberts on the outside. They're giving up that first down marker. We're going to play flats. It's going to be run with Abbott. Gets away from it, and down he goes. The 2nd sack of the drive. He walked himself into that one. And on the sack for Bingham, number 38, Mason Christiansen. 39 seconds to go. Turnover on downs. Minor football.
Boy, so costly. You can't give up a sack here if you're AF. You see again pressure coming, and this time almost forces him right back into it. Look at the man top of the screen, was wide open. Don't know if he would have been able to get to the sticks, but I mean, that sack, Dusty, pushes him back. Bingham can still score here. 39 seconds left, all 3 timeouts.
Had Peyton Wilson all by himself. He's looking at the rush. He had that free rusher again with Lolani Longi. 39 seconds to go. Back comes Jones in the offense. They've scored on their last 2 possessions. Jones firing deep, got a man, and nearly intercepted. Nice job of undercutting that one and breaking it up was Stockton Bramwell, who was beat on the first touchdown of the day, but able to get his hands on that one.
That ball maybe a little underthrown. I thought Parikh actually had an inside step. Nice blocking up front. All sorts of time for Jones, and really good coverage on the play by and large. But you see Parikh has that inside lane. That's thrown a little more to the inside of the field. You probably are looking at 1st and goal or points there for Bingham.
Wimmer will be in the slot at the top of the screen. 3 receivers to the bottom. Empty set backfield. 31 seconds to go. Pressure comes. Jones steps up. Peyton, he's got room inside the 40-yard line. He'll have a first down to the 28-yard, or probably 33-yard line. The clock will stop with 22 seconds left. Bingham still has all 3 timeouts.
Nice job that time by Jones. Had pretty good blocking downfield. Able to get just enough to move the chains. No timeout taken here. Kind of surprised.
Clock hasn't started. Now it goes. Jones got plenty of time. Firing up the sideline. He made the catch but did not get his feet down. Out of bounds. What terrific effort there from Parikh. It'll be 2nd and 10. 13 seconds to go.
Boy, what a play. And it's certainly close. We have another look at it. Do the feet come down? No, great play. I thought that one was outside.
Man, he was close to getting that toe tap, wasn't he?
It was, yeah.
That's one of those. It was interesting talking to Coach Lamborn. He said, our high school officials, because of what you watch on Saturdays and Sundays, they're actually a lot harder to be a high school official with no replay. So 2nd and 10. 2 receivers at the top of the screen. 1 receiver near side. Jones got plenty of time. Now pressure comes. Fires. Intercepted. The second interception of the half for Gibb. His second pick, undercutting that throw. 6 seconds to go in the half, and Gibb with the second takeaway.
I'm not quite certain where Peyton Jones is trying to go with this throw. Kind of threw it right at him. I mean, there's no one there. You see a man in the flat. There's another one over the middle of the field. It's just right between them. Not quite certain if he expected a man to continue the route, but, that is the definition of the term giveaway. It's thrown right to the AF defense.
And they were in possession for points. If you know Bingham, they always have good kickers. Sean Hardman, let's give him credit. He got pressure late there on Peyton Jones, forcing that throw. And Boone Abbott will come out and take a knee as this exciting first half comes to a close. 21 points in the second quarter between these two teams. We head to the locker rooms. Bingham with a 14-7 lead on AF. It'll be Bingham football when we come back. Hope you enjoy the halftime show. As again, our halftime score, Bingham Miners 14, American Fork 7. You watch the 6A semifinals with commentary brought to you by the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Welcome back to Rice Eccles Stadium. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you here at the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com with a commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Dane, what a fun second quarter, a very fast first half, and Bingham will start on offense, but we'll get your thoughts of what we saw in that first half as that ball goes into the end zone, and we'll bring out the Bingham offense.
Yeah, Dusty, I was a little surprised. I think Bingham ran the ball really well. I mean, you look at the stats midway through. Had 136 yards on the ground compared to just 25 for American Fork. We mentioned that first half. AF isn't, built to run for 200 yards a game, but I mean, I still think running the ball becomes important for them to try to keep that defense honest, especially where they have only been bringing 3. Offensively, I think, AF in the air, 130 yards. I think Bingham's going to take that all day long. I mean, you extrapolate that across the game. That's only 260 yards passing, and you're talking about one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Utah. We mentioned thrown for over 3,600 yards on the season. If you can limit him to under 300 yards, I think that Coach Lamborn and his staff are going to love their chances.
Yep, absolutely. It's on first down to give to Ivana Hall, and a short gain on first down, gain of 1. A second down and long, and Peyton Jones has the 2 touchdown passes, but Dane, it's the 2 interceptions. I think that'll keep him up at night tonight, no matter what goes on in this one.
Yeah, you're right. And when you look at, Dusty, the ways in which those came, the first one was back on a very early drive in the first quarter, nearly inside the red zone. The second one, you have a chance to put points late in the half, give it away. I mean, those are points left on the field if you're Bingham, and certainly those would be areas that the offense would love to clean up here in this second half. Second
down and 9, they pitch out to Wimmer, and Wimmer gets 8. And it'll be third down and 1. So, interesting to see what happens, and we apologize the clock. We'll try to find other ways to get you updated on the clock as the board has gone white, and we're trying to pull that off of there. And as there is not a game clock anywhere else on the field. So the officials are probably keeping it down on the field, but we don't have it up here. So we'll try to keep you updated on where that is. Play clock still running, down to 10 seconds on the play clock here. Third and 1 for the Miners. Wimmer, the deep back. And it'll be a run with Jones. And I don't know if Peyton got there. He needs to get to the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 29. And the AF defense comes up big once again. And we'll see if Coach Lamborn will elect to punt, or is he going to say, hey, we're Bingham, this is what we do, we get 1 yard?
We mentioned in that first half a couple times where AF was pretty stout on those interior runs, and Peyton Jones, we mentioned those dives, had 28 yards rushing in the first half. So, I mean, he ran the ball pretty well on similar plays like that, but really you think of that second quarter, there was a lot of stop of interior run by this AF defense. And here on fourth down, offense on the field for the Miners.
Didn't even hesitate. Out comes Jones. Wimmer, the deep back. And imagine they're going to run right behind Samote Pepa. He's the right guard. And we got a flinch there. The offensive line for the Bingham Miners uncharacteristically with a penalty, as Fairholm just could not hold his water. And now the punting unit will come on for Coach Lamborn.
Dusty, I didn't say it because you were talking. The thought just kept going to me. You got to hold your water here. I think this was all about a snap count and trying to draw AF offside, and it came back to their own undoing. You just see the movement there on the left side of the line. Not real common for Bingham to go for it on fourth down inside their own 20, 30-yard line. I wasn't expecting it there.
Just surprised on that one. With a penalty, and then a line drive punt that will take a minor roll. And I think Downing wisely let that one roll. He was going to take down the hop, and sometimes that is just really a bad idea. Downing let it go. I think that was smart. Discretion, the better part of valor. But now the American Fork offense comes on for the first time here in the second half, looking to tie this up at 14 apiece, as Boone Abbott had an uneven first half, but AF left a lot of plays on the field.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, they had a couple of throws that were in and out of receivers' hands. Boone Abbott, we pointed out opportunities where he could run a little bit more. He was their leading rusher at half. see what this offense looks like here to start this second half.
Abbott on first down, just underthrows the wide receiver. It's a little windy up top where we are. Down the field, the flags are just barely moving, but he had his man right here.
This should have been picked off. You've got to be really careful. I mean, Otta, we mentioned a late drive of that second quarter was kind of a late spy on the play and gave a similar look that time, looking like he's going to pick up the man. Instead, he's just staying right there, and Boone Abbott nearly gifted one.
Abbott rolls to his right, fires to a wide open receiver, and it's Downing on the reception to the 42-yard line. 1st and 10, Cavemen.
This route ran right to the sticks by Downing, and very well executed. Nice catch, and you see able to get upfield for another couple of yards afterward. I've seen a lot of receivers for AF sitting in zone, sitting in gaps, and finding space in this Bingham secondary. 2
receivers to each side here for Abbott. Sets up a screen to Roberts. Roberts gets to midfield where he's driven back with forward progression. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for American Fork.
Nice job there by AF. Like the call. Try to use some of that aggressiveness of Bingham against them, and able to hit Chase Roberts on the run. Roll off of one would-be tackler. Starting to see some of that momentum that we saw at times for this AF offense here on this first drive of their second half.
Single high safety defense here for the Miners. And can AF pick up 2 yards? Give to Wilson. He has the first down as he's inside the 45 down to the 44. It'll be 1st and 10.
We mentioned the lack of running for AF in that first half. Wilson here able to pick up 6 yards on the ground, and it is a tenet that I go back to. I think AF has to find a way to run against Bingham, particularly if nothing else, to get them out of that dropping 8 mode that we saw in that second quarter.
1st and 10 at the 44. Abbott fires near side to Wilson. Got great blocking downfield as Wilson has the first down. The ball comes out, goes out of bounds, so mark it back to the 33-yard line. But it will be a first down for American Fork. 1st and 10, Cavemen. And a fresh set of downs.
When I like this play call, to me it almost had a feel of a double pass, and I'm not sure if Bingham was thinking the same thing defensively, but everyone was back. You see that ball come out late? Fortunate for AF that it rolls out of play.
So first down for Abbott. Pump fake, now going deep for Roberts. Got him wide open and just overthrows him. Great play call, great execution, and just missed there by Boone Abbott.
Chase Roberts made a move. Oh my goodness, double move, you won't see it, but it leaves Hamilton in his tracks. And Bingham so fortunate that that ball just had a little too much behind it because Chase Roberts was all alone. What a play by the senior BYU commit, Chase Roberts.
Got him moving all over the field once again. Empty set here for Abbott. Feels the pressure, moving around, still looking. Abbott now reverses field. He's got a man over the middle of the field, now fires to him, and he just got it there just in the nick of time as Downing makes the reception, and Abbott was a beat maybe 1 or 2 late, and it could have been some yards after catch here, but man, Boone Abbott just is so elusive.
You see why Coach Lamborn was so concerned about it. I mean, when you have that much time, these receivers are going to get open.
Abbott rolls to his right, now fires toward the end zone. Got a man there, defender there as well, as it falls harmlessly to the turf. As having a shot at that one was Aaron Erickson. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Nice play by Erickson. Got to be a little careful here. He's backpedaling when that ball's in the air. You want to make sure that you get in right position because he was really Bingham's last hope off the tight end who was wide open in the back of the end zone, Dallin Johnson.
Trips to the near side, one receiver atop the screen. Roberts is at the bottom of the screen, firing, looking for Downing. Is Abbott moving around, still looking, now going to tuck and run. Boone to the 10. Abbott dives inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Cavemen.
17 yards on the run from Boone Abbott. And I think that is the longest carry of the day for the American Fork Cavemen. This Bingham front getting pushed around here a little bit, only bringing 3, creating a lot of space for Boone to work.
Quick fire to Roberts, in and out of his hands. Chase Roberts today just uncharacteristically with 2 drops, as he and Boone just have not been able to get on the same page a number of times today.
You know, we saw that a little bit last week in that quarterfinal matchup against Weber. Boone right now, like most players, look, you get bumps, bruises, some dings as the course of the season, and he's no different. I think that's been affecting his ability to make some of those catches that he would usually make.
Fires toward the far side, and Erickson breaks it up. The pass intended for Downing. Maybe should have thrown to the slot, but it's now 3rd and goal.
Wow, great positioning that time by Erickson again, and has an opportunity this pick. As he gets that inside positioning, nice job going up. That ball needs to be thrown a little higher in the air, but that's a favorable matchup for Bingham.
Abbott on 3rd down, fires to the slant, got his man, touchdown, American Fork. Dallin Johnson hauls in the pass from Boone Abbott. And we're a point after away from being tied at 14 with 6:52 remaining in the 3rd.
Bingham brings a blitz right up the middle. And you throw to the area vacated. Able to find Johnson, the tight end, on the slant, who was right over the middle of the field where Ott had come from. And the American Fork Cavemen able to get a big touchdown. And tie things up.
The point after is good. We are tied at 14. 6:52 remaining in the 3rd. You're watching the 6A semifinals. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Welcome back into Rice-Eccles Stadium. Their matchup in the regular season was an absolute barn burner, and it is shaping up to be another one. All tied at 14, American Fork and Bingham. The winner will move on to the 6A championship game next week to take on the winner of Lone Peak and Pleasant Grove. It's an all-Region 4 semi here in 6A, and any indication of the way this one has gone, the next one will be just as good, as this kick will be taken. Will actually go through the end zone. So bring it out to the 20-yard line for Peyton Jones and the Bingham Miners.
AF had a great start to this second half on the defensive side of the football, much like last week, Dusty. I mean, again, I did that quarterfinal game. Weber came out, really tried to run the ball. Now, the difference is Bingham had more success running the ball in the first half. Can that offensive line get back to what they were doing well in that first half? As if you recall, a lot of hats on hats, particularly in the second level, opened up some big running lanes. They could use a big drive here.
And they'll start on the ground here with Wimmer, and the red-hatted Miners, or pardon me, Cavemen have done a nice job. I don't know if they gave him forward progress 2 yards. He broke the tackle, but they'll still give him the forward progress for Wimmer. It'll be 2nd down and 8. But he broke out of that. I'm a little surprised they gave him the 2 yards. He broke off that tackle there, Dane. I mean, I don't want to quibble over 2 yards, but if they get the first down at the mark here, that's actually a big deal.
Yeah.
Stay in the I formation. 2 receivers at the top of the screen. Pitch out to Wimmer. And Wimmer has the first down across the 40-yard line. How about Nathan Wimmer has gotten things going? And they'll mark him at the 40. 1st and 10 Miners.
The good thing, to your point, Dusty, is now those 2 yards are meaningless, right? This is blocked extremely well. You see that pressure around the top. And tell you what, I mean, Wyatt Marks, the fullback, number 40, just a junior. He's been instrumental on a couple plays. You go back to that second touchdown. It's his route to the top of the screen in the flat that I think opens up the seam. He's been great today, and a big block that time to spring the corner for Wimmer.
Going to give up the middle, and Hall gets to the 44-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for Bingham.
I don't want to say over pursuit, but it looked like that linebacker from the top kind of came around too quickly. Wimmer able to go right up the middle and get through the arm tackle for a pickup of 4.
Trips to the top of the screen. One lone man to the bottom. As Jones ran the option and nicely read and defended by American Fork. Coming up and making the stop was the man who caught the touchdown just moments ago, Dallin Johnson.
Interesting, the second drive here for the Bingham Miners, Dusty, in this second half. And I don't think they've thrown a pass yet. And I know we talked about the 2 interceptions, but you know, Peyton Jones was 5 of 10 at the half, so throwing 50%. They had success on some of those comeback routes. Here on 3rd and long, would presume that he's going to sling it for the first time.
Trips to the bottom of the screen. 1 receiver at the top, looking to throw. No, Jones going to run. Quarterback draw. Has the first down across midfield. Nicely done by Peyton Jones. Move the chains for the Miners as they are now to the American Fork 47.
And that's why no one's hired me to be a defensive coordinator, Dusty. Draw all the way. Well, maybe not. He tucked it pretty quickly, so I'm going to say yes, especially when you see Peppa downfield blocking like that. A called draw and a nice job by Peyton Jones, who, you know, we talked about some of those, you know, now QB dives. That one, essentially the same thing, just from the shotgun.
Parikh and Cragen at the top of the screen. Wimmer near the line of scrimmage as they're going to run again. Straight run with Jones, and he's swallowed up the backfield. The ball came loose, and American Fork has it. The 3rd forced turnover of the day for this AF defense. And it's Cavemen football at their own 48.
Dusty, who was the kid that I mentioned at the top of the program?
Schoonover.
Bodie Schoonover. There he is, comes through, strips that thing right out of Peyton Jones, who had in that left hand. Folks, he's just a junior, but I'm telling you right now, he may be the best defensive player in the state next year. He's got a bright future ahead of him, and a huge play made right there by the junior.
AF looking to capitalize. Fake the fly sweep. Abbott still looking, now fires deep. He's got Roberts, and it's just wide of the intended target. Love the idea there, going for the quick strike after the turnover, getting all the momentum. Just missed.
It was interesting talking with Coach Lamborn before the game. We talked about, you know, kind of the tenets of football and the need to really break your opponent's will. You've got Bingham driving. You force the turnover, and Dusty, like you, I love taking a shot there to one of the best receivers in the state, trying to do just that very thing to the Miners.
Empty set here for Abbott. Free rusher nearly, well, I won't say intercepted. It would have been a tough one to pick off, but Junior Tafuna able to get in there and break that one up.
Yeah, I thought it looked like it may have landed in Peppa's gut. I thought that he maybe had a shot to just put those arms out there and bring it down, but a great job that time on the pressure coming from Tafuna, who's been a monster today.
A lot of free rushers have come in that empty set formation. 3:49 left in the third. Abbott now feels the pressure, comes near side. Boone gonna tuck it, makes a move, has the first down and more. Abbott going to the far side. He's got a man to beat, and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Boone Abbott ran 110 yards to pick that way, even more because he took it on the angle, but it'll be 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line of the Bingham Miners.
6 guys left in to block for Abbott. And you can see the way that Bingham respects his arm. No one able to come up and shut down that run. They're all waiting, trying to defend the pass first, and I don't blame them, but Boone Abbott able to take advantage with a 23-yard gain.
Roberts at the bottom of the screen. It is Wilson in the backfield. And he'll screen to Roberts. And nicely defended by Bingham. No surprise there. Sione Fotu coming up to get the stop. It'll be a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Like the idea here, but as you mentioned, Dusty, Bingham just defends this beautifully. Look at that. Outside contain, inside contain, help coming, nowhere for Chase Roberts to go.
Yeah, I got to keep outside leverage and let your defense come from the inside out. There's 2 receivers to each side, and Wilson in the backfield. Fake to the screen. No flag, fires, and should have been intercepted by Ata. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Boy, there might be a first down marker over there that needs to go get an injury assessment at Tosh. Ata went flying into that first down stick, trying to come up with that interception. Dusty, football is a funny game. It's a game of inches, and we've had, 3 or 4 could-be interceptions by this Miner defense here today. Boone Abbott has yet to throw one officially, but boy, there have been a couple that have been right in the hands of some of these Miner defenders.
3rd down and 10. Imagine we're in 2-down territory at the 30-yard line. Wilson motions. Abbott over the middle, intercepted by Ata. And then he fumbles it and he recovers. But it is a turnover. Ata with the pick, and it'll be Miner football at the 34-yard line.
This is a huge play for Bingham, Dusty, at a point where it feels like American Fork can really take control of this game. And it's Ata coming up with the interception. Another look at it here. You see, just reading the eyes of Abbott, we've mentioned how he's become a little bit of a spy in that second half. And that time, that spy able to sneak one over a really good quarterback.
Got a timeout on the field. 2:41 left in the third, tied at 14 in the 6A semifinals. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Welcome back to Rice-Eccles Stadium, the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com with commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. And Dane, your timing was perfect. Boone Abbott has flirted with danger a couple of times, and Slika Ata made him pay for it with that interception.
Yeah, this time I just don't think he sees him. And there's been a couple times where he just hasn't seen 22. he's got to start looking for him, because Atta today has been kind of that spy, right at that middle linebacker, creating all sorts of havoc.
Going to run Peyton Jones on first down, and Peyton had that fumble in the last possession. Gets out to the 38-yard line. A nice gain on first down.
How about this, Dusty? I know we're what, 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. A lot can happen. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought that Boone Abbott would outrush Peyton Jones in this ball game, but that's where we're at right now. And I think it's what Bingham has wanted to do, right? We would rather, force his legs to beat us than his arm. But right now, Boone Abbott's been able to find some success on the ground, and to a greater extent than Bingham.
Cragen at the bottom of the screen, the lone receiver on the field. A give to Wimmer. Wimmer is dropped in the backfield, and making the stop is Schoonover. And it'll be third down and long for the Miners.
This AF defense, Dusty, it looks like a different group here in this second half. I mean, they have been stout against the run, and they're really starting. I don't want to say they're frustrating Bingham, but the things that were working in the first half haven't been working in the second half if you're Bingham.
Well, in difference, it's run fits.
Right.
It's where you are in leverage and where they're getting to the football. The first half, they were just missing. They were giving up feet of difference there. Third down and 6. Play action, Jones. Gonna tuck and run, and he won't get it. They should be marking this around the 42, 43-yard line. They'll mark him at the 41. Nice job by this AF defense to respond after the turnover. And I don't know if this is a spot that Coach Lamborn wants to gamble here.
He didn't have anywhere to go. Dustin, I mean, the play action, but everyone's covered. I mean, you see Scoon over there disrupt Peppa. You've got coverage at the second level there. Even the guy coming around the back, I think it was number 8 for Bingham. It would have been Jake Cragen. Everyone was covered. Nowhere to throw the football. Nice job by AF.
And it'll be a timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Welcome back to Rice Eccles Stadium out of the timeout. That'll be a big one here for AF, but Bingham, especially under Coach Lamborn, they have been big on fake punts. But it'll be straight punt here. And it'll be fair caught by Downing. Man, he nearly misjudged that ball. It'll be AF football at the 22-yard line. So Boone Abbott and the offense turned it over on their last possession. Nice job by this defense getting it back to them. And it'll be AF ball 78 yards away.
Dusty, I'm trying to keep stats up here. Sometimes the limbs aren't quite as nimble as at other times, but if my calculations are correct, I think Boone Abbott's only completed 2 of his last 8 throws. Bingham's done a nice job. Obviously, that last interception. See what the Caveman elect to do here on this drive.
Trips to the top of the screen, one receiver near side. And they go up top. And a gain to the 26-yard line, so gain of 4 on first down. As I believe it was Downing once again on the reception. And I think they just keep setting up, go screen, and see if you can hit one big again with Roberts. As Hamilton given some cushion here as well to Chase Roberts. Is Abbott, zone read, and it is Lolani Longi. He read it and made the tackle. One of the best linebackers in the state of Utah.
Boy, and he left no doubt on this play, Dusty. I mean, if you're Boone Abbott, you see 43 coming around the top of the screen here, and you're thinking, yep, I'm going to keep this. And look at Boone just go right past Wilson and say, I gotcha.
Ten seconds left in the quarter. Most likely the final play of the third. Down to 5. Abbott fires. Complete to Roberts for the first down. And Chase Roberts will close out the third quarter with a third down conversion. And it'll be AF football at the 39-yard line when we come back. The fourth quarter coming up in the 6A semifinals. The winner moves on to the 6A championship. You're watching the 6A semis on live.ksl and desertnews.com with commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital.
And welcome back here to Rice-Eccles Stadium. The start of the fourth quarter in our 6A semifinal. The American Fork Cavemen and the Bingham Miners tied up at 14 apiece. Dane Stewart will be joined by Dusty Litster here shortly. And it's a first down for American Fork to start the quarter. Abbott over the middle, and that ball caught. Makes a man miss. McKay Nelson inside the 20 to the 14-yard line, the biggest gain of the afternoon for American Fork. "45-yard completion. And you'll see Atta here try for the interception, but that ball is well thrown by Boone Abbott. Great job by Nelson on the play to take this inside the 15. They'll mark it right at the 15. 1st and 10. Into the flat. That ball caught by Wilson and tackled out of bounds immediately for a gain of 6 on the play. As once again on the tackle that time was Hamilton, who's been the he's been the key guy for this Bingham secondary today. We matched up here on Chase Roberts on second down. That matchup to the top of your screen. Wilson in motion. Abbott over the middle, and that ball broken up. Couple of defenders there for the Miners, including Avona Hall as well as Longy, as the intended target that time was Dallin Johnson.
So Johnson nearly with his second touchdown catch of the ball game, actually of the third quarter, well, the second half. But how about this AF offense? When you get it going, Dane, it is so potent. 3rd down and 4. Trips to the near side. Roberts isolated top of the screen. They go quarterback draw. Boone Abbott coming near side. His second rushing touchdown of the ball game. And AF takes the lead 20-14. Point after coming up after the legs. Get it done for Boone Abbott.
Boy, great run here by Boone. I actually thought he had the lane inside and misread it. As you see, a design run all the way. Boone wisely coming around that edge. And how about Boone Abbott, Dusty? I mean, 3 touchdowns and more on the ground than in the air. Just like we all thought it would be.
You've said it throughout the Wild that you have got to run the football to win a state championship in the state of Utah. Well, sometimes you got to let your quarterback go do his thing. Boone Abbott gets in the end zone, and it is 21-14. AF leads. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and desertnews.com. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. AF with their first lead of the ball game, 21-14 here in the 6A semis. And I'll remind you that the last time when these two teams met in the regular season, it was AF up in the 4th quarter, and it was 2 scores by Bingham to get that win. So AF knows this position well. As this kick will go into the end zone. Matter of fact, I believe at one point in that game it was 17-7 American Fork when Bingham came back and took the to get the win.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch that game, so I'll take your word for that one. I will tell you this, Dusty. We talked about in our pregame show, American Fork trying to undo 30 years. 1988, the last time they beat the Bingham Miners. That game had less offense than this. It was 7-0 was the final score for AF. But, man, what a win it would be for this program. Coach Beam trying to build it into a Region 4 Utah County power, and this would be the game that could really launch it.
And, of course, this is a rematch of the 2015 state championship as Wimmer on first down rips off 12, maybe 13 yards out to the 33-yard line. Move the chains for the Bingham Miners.
You know, sometimes you just need a team to let you know they're for real, to kick it back up into gear. This is the first interior run that I think Bingham has had any success with in this second half. That third quarter could not run between the tackles. This time, great blocking up front by that line, running behind Samote Pepa and able to pick up first down.
On first down, go back to the ground and nothing doing on that one. A gain and maybe a yard to the 34-yard line. It'll be second down and 9 as Ivana Hall on the carry.
And I think we still have yet to see Bingham throw a pass here in this second half. Had 10 of them in the first half, and I don't recall seeing one in the second half. And again, Coach Lamborn has talked all year long about how, yeah, we run the football, but we can throw it too. And in the second half, haven't seen that quite yet.
This is a team that won all the passing camps during the summer, including the Ute Shoot here upon the hill. But they do not rely on it game in, game out. And now they're going to fake the screen, and it is Jones, and he was just one step away. There was a, well, dare say, touchdown saving tackle, but a big chunk yard saving tackle on that one as he's brought down at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, another look at this, and you're right, Dusty. I thought they were going to throw it for the first time, and I think that's an RPO. Well, I don't know. I mean, it looked like he was getting ready to throw it, and then all of a sudden just decided to run it. Fortunate for AF, they were able to make that tackle. Would have been a first down, probably would have been across the 50. Would have been a big gain for Bingham.
Third down and 3 for the Miners. Wimmer, the deep back in the I formation. Bringing a run blitz, going to throw, got a man. Just overthrown by Jones, and it'll be fourth down, no flags on the play.
They were trying to go back to Harward. He was the man who caught the game-winning touchdown in that first matchup, and I thought he maybe took his foot off the pedal just a bit. Good job getting back by AF defensively, as I thought that he may have had a step. Bramwell and Shipley both able to recover, but man, Bingham, I mean, you go back to they've tried to attack that seam. It worked really well in the first half. That time, AF was able to get defenders back and help break it up.
You know, I just misspoke. I said the 2015 state championship. It was actually the 2014. I want to thank Bruce Gunther for reminding me that my year's off the mark there. Is that nice punt from Bingham. Dies at the 28-yard line where American Fork will take over. 8:59 remaining in the fourth quarter. AF looking to get up 2 scores. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. With commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. $8:59 remaining in the fourth quarter. AF looking to take a major lead in this game. They get up 2 scores on this drive, so big defensive possession here for the Bingham Miners defense as Abbott pulls on the RPO and hits Downing across the 40-yard line to the 42, and it'll be 1st and 10 Cavemen on a strike from Boone Abbott.
How about back-to-back games for Downing, over 100 yards receiving? He's been the go-to guy today. And just like he was last week, has been reliable. Had a fantastic game today for the Cavemen.
First and 10 from the 42, and right up the middle. Here's Wilson. Inside of Miner territory to the 45. They spread him out all day long and then hit them with the quick dive. Great play call, great timing.
The biggest gain by a back today for American Fork, and you talk about it, Dusty. Great timing for that play call, and able to just all sorts of green space in front of Wilson. Does a nice job weaving in and out, take it across the 50.
Got a feeling AF is going for the haymaker on this drive. Abbott up the sideline, Downing on the back shoulder throw. That is as much about the throw that it is the catch. Boone Abbott on the money, but how about Downing?
Dusty, so many times you hear the back shoulder fade. This one's thrown on a rope, and Downing makes an impressive catch on the near sideline right over the safety, Erickson. And AF in business. Points on this drive for AF, even a field goal, and Bingham in trouble.
8:16 left in the fourth quarter. AF, 3 straight big plays. On the ground, Wilson makes a nice move. Inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. It'll be second down and short for the Cavemen.
I love this play call. Watch Samote Pepa, 77. He's the defensive end. The entire game he's been taking an outward angle, and this time they come right at him with Wilson, able to pick up 7 on the carry.
Downing, the near side receiver. Roberts at the top of the screen. And it'll be RPO firing the flat, incomplete. Looking for Johnson. It'll be third down and 3.
How about this drive for AF? Gains of 14 yards, 21 yards, 13 yards. It's been big plays to march right down the field on this Bingham defense. Done a nice job, and they've got a third and short here. If I'm AF, I'm actually thinking 2-down territory. I'm wanting the end zone.
And nothing else, it's a long field for Bingham to march to try to tie the game.
Right.
I like the points too. I mean, it's one of those tough things for Coach Beam. But third down, here we go, and Pepa jumped off sides. Nothing to worry about there. Uncharacteristic mistake there by Samote Pepa, the best defensive lineman possibly in the state of Utah, he or Ika. But it'll be first and 10 from the 12-yard line.
You mentioned uncharacteristic, Dusty. I mean, think back to that fourth down for Bingham. 4th and 1. Uncharacteristically jump a false start. Now you get it on the defensive side to hand a free first down to AF. Boy, just a couple of untimely penalties for Bingham that have not helped their case today.
2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. RPO tipped up in the air. Intercepted going the other way. No flags on the play. And the big play turned in by this Bingham defense on the interception return is Aaron Erickson. What a turn of events. They go from handing AF a first down to tipping in the air and setting up the offense at the American Fork 34-yard line.
One of the keys we've seen today, every time Boone Abbott's getting ready to throw, you're seeing Bingham defenders leave their feet at the line of scrimmage to try to bat these balls. That time, it's exactly what happens, and Erickson able to track it down for the second interception today off Boone Abbott. Both QBs have thrown 2, and just like that, boy, this game changes ever so quickly. Bingham at the AF 34-yard line.
I talked about it before. When your back's up against the wall of faith, what do? And they came up with a big, big play. Single set formation with Wimmer in the backfield. Run near side, slips one tackle, breaks another, finally popped down. Nice strong run there from Wimmer. And he's brought down by Stockton Bramwell.
Real interesting here for Bingham. I mean, you just saw how AF marched down the field on the offensive side. You're obviously at a point in this game where you're not going to get too many more possessions. How quickly do you try to score here? Or do you try to take as much of this clock off? It's a real interesting point that Coach Lamborn having to figure out.
Go counter near side. And Ivana Hall has the first down inside the 20, down to the 18. Man, the momentum just flipped in this stadium. 6:38 to go, and Bingham looking like Bingham right now.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about it. When you're in a competition, sometimes that level picks up, and the Bingham offensive line has had some nice blocking these last 2 plays, 16 yards on the last 2 runs. And, you know, take advantage of the momentum and the opportunity for your, you know, the defense to have a little lack of confidence here.
I'm shocked there was not a legal substitution. They
Looked
broke
like
the huddle with 12 people as Hall went running off the field. Jones loses 2 yards to the 20 on that run. But I don't know how there's not a legal substitution on that, Dane.
I'm trying to recall. I think it was 2 weeks ago in the first round. I saw something very similar where, and it wasn't, you know, Bingham or American Fork, but ran a player off late as the, you know, team was coming up to the line of scrimmage. I was like, well, isn't that illegal substitution? It wasn't called then. I'm not certain if there's a new clarification around that. It's something that I'd have to look into. But you're right, Dusty. I thought the same thing.
One receiver near side, Cragen at the top of the screen. Parikh, the near side receiver. Ivana Hall, the deep back. Play action. Over the middle, got a wide open man. Touchdown, Bingham Miners.
Guess who?
Brazen Harward, who had the game-winning touchdown in the first meeting, has the potential game-tying touchdown here with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter. Point after coming up.
And lest you forget, Dusty, he was the man that was targeted, 2 drives ago? And the ball was overthrown by a couple of yards. And once again, what is it? It's Bingham up the seam of that AF defense. Every touchdown today for Bingham has come right up the middle through the air.
Third passing touchdown of the day for Peyton Jones. Snap is down. The kick is good. 5:20 to go in the fourth quarter. This is what the semi is supposed to look like. Bingham and AF tied at 21. You're watching the 6A semifinals. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Welcome back into Rice-Eccles Stadium. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart of Deseret News Rewind with you here on live.ksl and deseretnews.com. How about this? Tied at 21. The winner moves on to the 6A championship game next week. It'll be AF football. They were knocking on the door, Dane. Samote Pepa jumps off sides, gives a first down to AF. An interception off a tip ball. Aaron Erickson got the interception that leads to the Brazen Harward touchdown to tie us up at 21.
Yeah, boy, and Bingham fortunate, Dustin. I mean, you look at the second half, we've still got half a quarter to play here essentially, but when you look at the differences between these two teams in the second half, American Fork has over 200 yards of total offense, Bingham less than 100. I mean, the pendulum has swung here in the second half for the Bingham Miners. Fortunate to get that turnover, get big yards off the turnover, and have a short field to convert. And now, hey, it's whoever plays the best over the last 5 minutes of this ball game. Boy, this was familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
28-24 was the score in the regular season matchup. And this is going to be a huge 5:14 to go. Chase Roberts had that return out to the 26-yard line. So out comes Boone Abbott and the offense, 2 receivers to each side. Wilson, the deep back, they were moving the ball at will on that last drive. Got inside the 15 before the turnover. Abbott Fires over the middle to Johnson, incomplete. Ata there on defense. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Oh, man, Dallin Johnson. Oh, that hurts. Look at this, and Ata brings the pain, literally. Going to watch a slant from that inside route. Dallin Johnson comes up, Ata identifies it, boom, right there. Folks, it's cold. That one's painful.
Two by two here for Abbott. Roberts at the top of the screen. Abbott going to take off, and he can't get away.
Ball came out.
Ball's out, but recovered by American Fork. And I believe it was Samote Pepa with the sack. And luckily for AF to get on top of that football.
Watch the bull rush by 54. Just lowers the pads. And Samote Pepa gets around that angle. But, Dusty, there was nowhere for Boone to go.
3rd down and 14. Throws incomplete. Erickson was there, the pass intended for Downing, and the punting unit comes on for AF. Big stop for the Miner defense.
Boy, I thought Erickson was going to have number 2 right here, Dusty. Risky throw that time from Boone Abbott, and Erickson makes a great play to come around Downing. Couldn't haul it in, but either way, the Bingham defense gets the job done when they need to.
And they brought pressure to get that ball out of his hand as well. Just gets the punt off. And it takes a sideways roll inside the 40-yard line to the 39. 61 yards away for a touchdown here for the Bingham Miners. With 4:15 left, out comes Peyton Jones in the offense. We talked about the last study, even 6 months here. What we'll call 6 months. For Peyton Jones was a starting pitcher for the Bingham Miners in the state championship baseball game. They got the championship win. And not even 6 months later, Dane, he's a starting quarterback here in the semifinals, looking to get the Miners back to the championship game. This kid is clutch. Hand off to Wimmer. And Wimmer has a gain of 5 to the 44.
And this is what I think you're going to see a lot of Bingham do, right? 4 minutes. They're going to have to go to the air at some point. But this is going to be run the rock. Wimmer now unofficially over 100 yards rushing today.
Parikh at the top of the screen. Harward in the slot. Go back to Wimmer off the right side. It is read and dropped. I believe it was Schoonover that able to get in there to get the stop. No, pardon me, it was Johnson. It'll be 3rd and long with 3.5 rolling here in the 4th quarter.
Great play by Johnson. Just beat his man right off the line of scrimmage. I mean, might have been touched, but if he was, it wasn't by much. Does a great job of blowing that play up and creating a 3rd and long.
Cragen at the top of the screen. Parikh at the near side. Inside breaking routes have been the key for the Miners. Rolling near side. Schoonover there to chase Jones. He won't get away. Jones run out of bounds. And not only does the AF defense get the stop, Dane, they stop the clock, getting Jones out of bounds with 2:59 left. 4th down and 8 for Bingham.
I'm kind of surprised by this play call, Dusty. You look at it, there's no tight end there, right? To the top of the screen, there's Harward, but he's blocking the entire way. There's really no route. This is a 2-route concept for Bingham. There's nowhere to take the football. You see Jones is trying to run the entire time. And what we've learned is AF has pretty good horizontal quickness, particularly Schoonover. You're going to try to run that to his side. Good luck.
Part of it was Pepe slipped there. He was the pulling guard to be out in front of Jones, and he lost his foot. Downing waiting around the 20-yard line. A lot of pressure on that kick, just got it away. Line drive, and Downing lets it roll as it'll be down by Harward inside the 25-yard line. So it'll be AF football at the 24. 2:49 to go here in the 6A semi. We cannot ask for anything more than this. Ball in the hands of first-year starter Boone Abbott. He had to wait as Bronson was in front of him. A very, very good quarterback, a 3-year starter in front of him. Give it to this kid. He did not transfer, didn't look to go somewhere else. He stayed at American Fork. He got his year to start this year. He's made the absolute best of it. One of the top passers in the country, getting some late attention here from colleges. And now a chance to take his American Fork Cavemen to get a win, to get to the state championship game. Start on the ground with Wilson. And he is dropped after a nice gain to the 27-yard line. Gain of 3.
Wilson has been the guy that they've given the rock to here in the second half. 24 yards on just 3 carries over the course of the last drive in 1 play for Peyton Wilson.
Call it a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. And Abbott cannot get away from Samote Pepa. Should have thrown it. He decided to hang on as Samote Pepa with his 2nd sack here in the 4th quarter. Clock's rolling, around 2 minutes to go.
That escalated quickly. I mean, look at this. Bingham is trying to get this out of his hand fast, and just Samote Pepa does what Samote Pepa has done since he was a sophomore, and that is terrorize. Dusty, a fantastic job of getting past that offensive line, and on Boone Abbott, absolutely no chance on that one.
You mentioned since his sophomore year, he got a lot of playing time on it as Jay Tufele, who's now starring at USC, was injured. And now AF just letting this thing roll down. They're going to take a timeout, their 2nd timeout. 1:31 left in the 4th quarter. Big 3rd down and 12 coming up. You are watching the 6A semifinals with commentary brought to you by Tosh, the orthopedic specialty hospital. Out of the timeout, 3rd down and 4, 1.5 to go. Boone Abbott has been pressured and dropped by Samote Pepa a couple times. He's got time, he fires, he's got Roberts. He holds on, and they're going to give Roberts the 1st down to the 34-yard line. It looked like he was just shy, maybe you're right at the mark at the 33, but the far side gives him the 1st down to the 34.
Yeah, they gave him a yard and a half on that play. That blows. Wow. Woo.
I think he had it at the 33-yard line, but giving that to him. 1st and 10, Abbott steps up. Abbott has got a man down the middle of the field, but he takes off the run. Gets to the 38-yard line. Now down to 110. Dane, he had Hughes running free. Now wisely held on. Probably didn't trust his eyes to turn the ball over.
I think if anything right now, you want to be certain, right?
Yep. Fires over the middle. He's got his man downing across midfield to the 48-yard line of the Bingham Miners. 49 seconds to go. AF on the move.
They've got 1 timeout left. Don't have to hurry here.
Now timeout taken by Bingham. 45 seconds to go. AF knocking at the 48-yard line of the Bingham Miners. We'll have the conclusion when we come back. You're watching the 6A semis on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com with commentary brought to you by Tosh, the orthopedic specialty hospital. AF fans on their feet and excited. 45 seconds to go. Their cavemen are driving, looking for the win and a berth into the 6A championship game. Abbott fires back shoulder. Downing. How about the catch from Downing to the 36-yard line? Holy Hannah, with the pressure and everything else, Dane, what a grab.
For the second straight week, Downing over 150 yards rushing. Dusty, this, unreal. Unreal. And yeah, I was going to say something, but I won't. What a catch.
Roberts at the top of the screen, Downing isolated near side. Abbott hands off to Wilson. Interesting decision there, gets to the 35-yard line, and AF will burn their third and final timeout with 34 seconds left. Interesting decision to run it there in the middle of the field. Timeout on the field, we'll take it with them. You're watching the 6A semis with commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. .34 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Game number 1 of the semifinals. Lone Peak PG comes up next. They'll get the winner of this one. Does Bingham's defense have a stand in them? Abbott fires to the outside, and it's wide of Downing. Coaches want a defensive holding, not getting it. Nice coverage there by Erickson. But to see on the replay, if we have a look to see if there was any type of holding.
Look here, not quite certain if we'll catch it on the screen or not. It's off our screen.
I thought it looked clean. You can contact until the ball's in the air in high school football. This offense has got to get going, though. You got 10 seconds on the play clock.
And no timeouts.
31 seconds to go. Abbott had a lane to run. Finally goes, is tackled from behind. You mentioned no timeouts left. And it's fourth down, and the field goal unit will have to come on. They can't even spike it.
This might be the last play of regulation.
Well, this could be the ball game. Down to 10 seconds. It's going to be a 49-yard field goal. 5 seconds. Snap is down. Kick on the way. He's got leg. No good. Wide right. Had plenty of leg on it and just misses. And we are heading to overtime.
Wow. Dusty, everybody in the stadium took a collective breath. I mean, we've got another angle here in the stadium and certainly had the length, but that was well off. Missed by a good 3-5 yards.
This game was too good to end in 48 minutes. We head to free football. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll stick around and let you see the coin tosses. Refresh your memory if you've now watched high school football in the overtime. Each team will get a possession. The winner of the toss will select offense or defense. The other team will select which end of the field they'll be heading to. Both teams will get the football, and the greater score wins. So if you kick a field goal, the other team scores a touchdown. Ball game. Both kick field goals, we move on to number 2, just to make sure to get that all lined out and understood. But Dane, what a good game from both these teams. And the biggest play, obviously, is the interception from Erickson. As AF was inside the 15-yard line of Bingham. It was 1st and 10 around inside the 15-yard line. Tipped up in the air. Erickson with the pick, returning the other way, which leads to a Bingham touchdown to tie the game up.
Yeah, you could really say that's a 14-point swing. I mean, it was, right? I mean,
absolutely.
AF is heading to the end zone. There's really nothing stopping them. A chance to absolutely step on the throat of the Miners and take care of business. And instead, it's a batted ball at the line of scrimmage. And mentioned Bingham's been trying to do that all game long. They've done it a couple times, but that was the only one that led directly to an interception. As we have another look at it here, and you see it was Longy getting the tip and Erickson able to catch it. And the big return was, Dusty, just as big of a part as the actual turnover itself. Excuse me, it wasn't Longy because he's right there.
It was 45. It was
okay.
Tafuna.
Thank you. But man, I mean, that big return, setting up the short field. This Bingham Miner offense, Dusty, in the second half, it hasn't had the sustained success that it had in that first half. And so only having to work 30, 33 yards was certainly huge in Bingham being able to tie this up. But you're absolutely right. That interception right now looming large as we head to overtime. One of the things that is great to see, and it's happened all playoffs long, you see number one.
Yep.
One of the captains, Braden Whistler, you mentioned, Dusty, about his injury early in the year. He is suited up for the playoff games, and while he's not going to play, it's great to see him as a senior to be able to come out here in the semifinals, suit up with his team. He's gone to every game, traveled with the team. Yep. He's been there despite the injury, despite knowing he wouldn't be able to play, but he recognizes his opportunity to still contribute to this team as one of its senior leaders.
He just loves his teammates. These guys have played together since they were young kids. And thank you for pointing that out, Dane. I almost feel like the biggest homer in the world, always pointing out the Braden Whistler stuff.
You know, and congratulations to Braden. Got a preferred walk-on here at the U. Obviously huge for him, and would be, you know, it's always great to have options. I have no idea, you know, what he would do. He's got some FCS offers, and, you know, he'll certainly have opportunities to continue playing, but good on him to be able to pick up that preferred walk-on here.
So it'll be American Fork football first. This game was too good to end in regulation, only fitting that both teams will get the football. It'll be American Fork ball at the 25-yard line heading south.
No coin flips for this tie. See what I did there?
Well, I did. Remember, the Region 4 was a three-way tie. Bingham was facing going on the road for the first time in a long time in the playoffs. I think it was since 2003 was the last time they went on the road in the playoffs in the first round, and was a big one. It gave American Fork the 3 seed as they had to go on the road for both of their playoff games, beating Riverton, beating Weber on their home fields to get to Rice-Eccles Stadium. For Bingham, Dane, this is a note that we haven't mentioned yet. Since 2006, only 1 year has Bingham not been at Rice-Eccles Stadium to play in the semifinals, and that was in 2011. They lost in the quarters to Fremont.
It's phenomenal.
Their last loss in the semis came to Lone Peak in 2015. Talmadge Gunther and the Knights got them big that day. As we start overtime, a give to Wilson up the middle, a gain of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And some unofficial stats for you through regulation. Boone Abbott, 27 of 49, 321 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Also 13 rushes for a net 56 yards. That includes the sacks, which obviously were huge for Bingham defensively, particularly in the second half.
Ten seconds on the play clock. Abbott pulls. He's looking for Downing. And we're going to have defensive holding here on Erickson. Downing went double move on that RPO. And Erickson held him up wisely. Give up half the distance to the goal if it means not giving up 6.
Yeah, had no help. And to your point, Dusty, that one would have been in the end zone easily.
I'm not sure what the conference is about. Well, I guess maybe if it's hold or pass interference.
It was one of my favorite commercials from, a year or so ago when they had the officials at midfield talking about where they were going to go to eat after the game, and then they come out and make a call relatively quickly. And how about that? 2 penalties, so offsetting, hence the conference.
Yeah, they go legal man downfield.
And, Northwestern, Pat Fitzgerald would be happy at that. I don't know if you heard his comments earlier this year about RPO and its ability to actually allow linemen down the field a little longer than legally possible. Officiating crew here on that one.
So 2nd down and 8. Fire over the middle. The pass is complete. It's a first down, and Roberts gets to the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 and can pick up a first down at the 1.
This has been the mode of operation for AF. Zone coverage, find a spot, sit down, accurate quarterback able to deliver a ball.
Downing at the bottom of the screen, Roberts at the top. Abbott going to Downing. Back shoulder. Downing with the catch. Touchdown, American Fork. The junior wide receiver comes up with the biggest play of the day for the Cavemen.
Dusty, I mean, when you look at the alignment, I kind of presume that Abbott would go there, and Erickson gets beat right off the line of scrimmage, has back to the ball, and Downing, not his most impressive grab of the day. I mean, still nice, but, I mean, he has been spectacular. 11 catches, 163 yards, his first touchdown. He has been the go-to guy for Boone Abbott today.
The ever-important extra point is good. AF scores on their possession in overtime and takes a 28-21 lead. We'll step aside real quick and come back. You're watching the 6A semifinals with commentary brought to you by Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Never mind. Why don't you tell me what movie you want to see?
It's cold. We got more games to play. Let's get going.
Wasting no time. Out comes Jones in the offense. They got to score a touchdown and get the point after to go to a second overtime. Give to Wimmer. Andrew Wimmer gets outside. There's a flag for holding. It'll be 1st down and 20.
Right on the perimeter. And the official right there able to see it. We have another look. Going to come in top of the screen here. We got away with a little movement as well. But you see right there, that receiver just holding around the edge, and it's going to back this thing up.
Yeah, they got Josh Wolf. He had the first touchdown of the day. They got him there. And they would have gladly taken the false start over this. Backs him up, 2nd down and 19 from the spot of the foul, so backs him up to the 34-yard line. It'll be Cragen at the bottom of the screen and Parikh at the top. Play action. Jones, he had Parikh now going for him, and it's overthrown. Had him initially. The pressure put on by Gibb threw that one off a little bit, and it'll be 2nd and 19.
You know, Jones, a left-handed quarterback here. I don't love the bootleg away from the throw. Still had time to get it off, but that one just overthrown by about 4 yards. Adam.
Yeah, that pressure from Gibb too kind of threw that off. If he's a beat earlier, he might have had him there. We saw this formation earlier. They ran out of it. And American Fork takes the timeout. So now we'll take it with them. 2nd and 19 coming up in overtime. You're watching the 6A semifinals. Commentary brought to you by Utah Army National Guard. So out of the timeout we go. 2nd down and 19. If you're just joining us, we're in the first overtime. Bingham's got to score and get the point after to send us to the 2nd overtime. Jones fires, and it's wide. Intended for Parikh. It'll now be 3rd and 19. They were just trying to get a chunk of that back.
Yeah, and it's a good idea, but this ball is just thrown in front of Parikh. You're going to see Jones roll to the top of the screen. Man coverage up there. Parikh's, he's open. Just got to get that ball in a spot where Parikh can make the catch. That would have put it at about 3rd and 8, maybe 3rd and 9. Right now, I'm not sure how many plays Bingham has for this situation.
Got to get a piece of it here. A big chunk of it. 3rd down and 19. Jones, they're going to go double pass. Parikh lofts one up, hanging in the air, intercepted, and American Fork is moving on to the 6A state championship. Their first appearance since 2014, where they lost to the Bingham Miners. But today, in 2018, AF upsets Bingham and are heading to the championship game. They avenged the 2014 title loss. They avenged the loss in the regular season and get it done in overtime. And it's their defense, Dane, that comes up with the game-clinching play.
Dusty, I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, we probably don't give enough credit to this AF defense. And you look at what they did in the second half, impressive. Parikh, there's just too much air under this one. Trying to go deep and maybe got away with a little bit of a hand there, but certainly nothing that's going to be called or really that significant. But it's Jeremiah Shipley coming up with the game-clinching, semifinal clinching, state berth sending interception.
Your Utah Army National Guard player of the game.
Boy, it's so hard for me to not say Boone Abbott, but I'm going to go Devin Downing. I thought he really stepped up. Unofficially, 11 receptions, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, a couple of hashtag DNRT5s, including the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Devin Downing, our player of the game.
Congratulations to the American Fork Cavemen on a big, big win. But for the Bingham Miners in a program where it's championship or bust, this has been a great year. A team that has dealt with adversity, losing their leader, their offensive star. They got to Rice Eccles Stadium. Coach John Lamborn does such a terrific job. This is not a season lost. It was a season of great success for the Bingham Miners. It's tough to say on a day like today, but today, this game belongs to the American Fork Cavemen. How about Boone Abbott and this offense and this defense coming up big, getting the win, 28-21, and moving on to the 2018 6A state championship game, where it'll be an all-Utah County championship game right here. Our final score, American Fork 28, Bingham 21 for Ryan Rasmussen, Vince Francis, and Dane Stewart. I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching the 2018 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com, brought to you by Tosh. And commentary brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital and the Utah Army National Guard. Stay tuned. Game number 2 coming up. Lone Peak, PG, right here on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.